Yo, what up, guys?
I think the only thing I could have done better is
I'm
just
not
hit
going
more
to do an
shots.
intro and outro like I would
I almost
normally
lost
do.
it
I'm just
two
going to keep it
times.
inside the video itself. The reason for that
Shit,
is
lucky
this
it's already
video, it
actually
takes a
really
while
left me
for the
alone.
thought
Like the team
process to
that knew I
finally
was
kick
back
in
there left
because,
me
there's
alone,
a lot of downtime.
and I griefed them a
But
few
I kind of want
times.
to
I
talk
got third
about
because of that.
how to push through certain ranks. Um, so if you want to get to the actual thought process itself, it's probably going to be when do we start doing stuff around this time in like 10 minutes.
They're left.
In like 10 minutes or so. So if you want to skip forward 10 minutes,
I'm gonna say you got
it is a little long video.
owned by a free
But,
stack of Americans.
so how gold lobbies work, okay, because I
You
kind of
should
want to
got
touch on that.
jumpy.
A lot of
Jumpy
people
stand.
kind of, they struggle with it.
Jumpy stand.
And that's completely understandable. Gold is one of those things that you start to learn the whole
Trying to
rank
learn
system and
is
how
the
it
right
works, like how the
place you.
points work,
Plus, if you
what
watch all my
weapons are
YouTube
better in
videos, they should
ranks. You
look
start
at
to
a good
learn
rate.
the map, the
I'll have more
circle,
YouTube
like the
videos
end
for
zones. So golds is a good overall learning
Apex.
experience. So if you're stuck in this, you're learning it. It's perfectly
All
fine.
coming out very
Um,
shortly. I have one that's already out.
yes, if you can
My
solo queue
rank thought
through
processes
gold.
are going to be flowing here soon too.
My best tip to everyone, if you're
I
if
think I
you're
have
in
like
the
2 or 3
team, if you're
games.
solo,
I honestly want to do thought process
for
videos on
solos again,
from
play
just
with your
today.
teammates as best as possible. And this is kind of more.
Easy content.
It doesn't matter if your teammates are bad, you still have a chance to really help them out in fights, because people, some people are in gold that aren't the best. Um, but, a lot of people are still learning, and, you can take advantage of that. But the best thing for you guys to get through gold is land hot, kind of. Try to get as many kills as you can in the beginning of the game, even in game. Um, but mostly the beginning of the game for gold, you always just want to kind of land next to people, right around people at the same POI. And after you get like 3 or 4 kills, and like it doesn't have to be 10th place or 13th place. You don't have to have any placement points at all. As long as you have that 3 to 4 KP, you're already positive in gold. So gold's one of those things where you always want to try to take fights until you have a good amount of KP. Like if you have, 2 kills, 2 assists, you're perfectly fine. You're good to go. If your team, is doing well, keep fighting in that lobby, keep slaying out, and then, try to get that dub. And then, now you're up 200 some plus points. So that's kind of my tip
You
for
muted
gold players trying to get plat.
Okay.
Also under gold as well.
Same.
It just takes as many fights as possible.
Yeah.
Um, if you're finding that, if let's just say you play with the team and you guys are doing good RP wise and you're trying to hurry up and get the plat, and two of your teammates go down just from the start and now they have no KP. You can try to get placement. What I tell my friends to do, is try to get top 10 at least. So now it's cut down, some points. Because for example, diamond, it goes from 48 to 38.
The game's absolutely
Or at plat, it goes from 38 to 28. So it immediately cuts down 10 points, which is huge. You don't lose that much. And then you can tell your teammate, or if you're solo, and your team's dead, just go ahead and try to take a fight real quick. If you die, you die. Get into the next game as soon as possible so you can keep gaining RP. Because if you play the full, 10, 15 minutes a game, 20-minute game, you're kind of just wasting time for RP. So just go ahead and just try to take a fight, get knocked, pretty much, just pretty much kill yourself in the game and stuff like that. So you can just go into the next lobby and try to get points then again with your full team up this time. So that's kind of gold. I probably worded that really weird or just like explain it weird, but if no one has KP in the very beginning, 2 people die. Just try to take the fight, get to the next game. It doesn't hurt to take that minus 28. That bad. But if you play the full team, that's what I recommend doing. Just to help everybody out, so everyone gets KP faster. Now, if your team doesn't want you to do that because they don't want to lose all the points, all the whole 28 or the whole 18, if you get top 10, just just play it out, try to skeeve it out. That way you start learning the circles and stuff like that as well. What spots are good to skeeve at in certain circles. But that's gold ranked. Um, for plat, this is when you start to learn, you know, how teams function, like how good teams are kind of set up and stuff like that. And you start to develop your own play style in ranks. You figure out what weapons you really do like. You figure out what zones or like what POIs you like to land at, wherever the dropship kind of takes you, and you start to learn that. And plat is a really good, it's a really good rank to be in, that just start learning it 100%, to get you prepared for like diamond lobbies. So if you're stuck in plat, no big deal. This is when you start playing with your teammates. Make sure you're playing. If you're in a group, your team starts to figure out what plays they like the best, what guns people like running, what characters people like to run with. Like me being Gibby, Bloodhound's always fun to run with, and a rotational character such as like Octane, Valkyrie. I also like running with fuses. Just kind of annoy people inside buildings, break doors down whenever you need the doors broken. So like you start to figure out what you like to play with, who you like to play with as well. If you're solo in plat, this is when you start to need to work with your teammates a lot more than what you were in gold. You just need to follow them. In plat, you can sometimes, if you have more confidence than your teammates do and you have a mic, you can normally take the lead in plat lobbies. People will normally listen. Sometimes they won't. No big deal. If you're not trying to play solo and you are solo, if you find if you find a really good team that you vibe with, you guys are slaying out in the game, just go ahead and invite each other. Even if the next game or 2, 3 games don't go that bad, just know that you guys had a really good game before, and just talk it through, like what y'all can do to do better. Because it's not a fluke that you guys did great together. It's just it's your first time playing with each other, so just keep doing it.
I absolutely went off, bro. I absolutely
So
slaughtered.
that is kind of like my tip through plat to get the diamond. This is when you start playing with your teammates more. You start to learn the map a whole lot better, where you like landing and stuff like that.
I love Ray.
And then finally for diamond,
25% of the time. The other 75, he's
Dino Thirst. Diamond, you have to play with a team. You don't have to. You can still solo through diamond to masters. I don't recommend it. Because not everyone can do it. It's a certain mindset. It's a certain skill gap. I've only done it once, and I've almost done it twice, but I just didn't feel like getting through D1 by myself solo, so I played with the team. It's not fun though. It can be really frustrating, but since I have soloed, I can kind of give my solo tips as well. I have a solo tip video, but for soloing, you have to play with randoms. Absolutely have to play with randoms. There's nothing you can really do about it. If they don't want to push a team, you can't push a team. So that's how you have to play pretty much solo. And if you're on the team, you guys have to play smart. Know when to push, know when not to push. It's pretty much like an upgraded version of plat. Just you have to play a lot smarter.
They actually knocked that good.
If you get kills off like start, you 50-50 a team, or you land close to another team, 2 teams fighting, and you get the third party. If you get all those kills, now you can see where circle is going. Make sure you rotate in the circle early, and all your last bit of kills you need come from late game. So make sure you play late game, get high ground, building, and just try to kill people rotating in.
Fucking weirdos.
And that's where the rest of your kills are going to come from. And you're still getting placement because you're already bunkered down. You're not struggling to hurry up trying to find KP. Another thing for Diamond is play off the player that has the most KP. If one of my friends, like in game right here, Blastoise and Rip Currents, aka Mikey and Reese. Let's say Blastoise has 10 kills. He's absolutely slaying out, and I have 2. It's not smart for me to try to hurry up and like push a team like third partying like way out of position where another team can third us. It wouldn't be smart for me to get out of position to try to get those free KP so I can get more points. It's best for me to stay in the building, make sure we secure the win, and make sure, you know, I don't really cost for him getting the most points he can possibly get. So play off the person with the most KP. Um, that's pretty much it for Diamond. Diamond, again, it's an upgraded version of Plat. You have to play smart. And the same thing is with Masters to Pred. You just have to play really smart and just know when to push, when not to push, and just, you know, secure your placement, you know, after you get some kills, so you don't have to struggle. It's always good to get kills off the beginning and then play placement because all your kills come from late game, and it's good to secure that late game. So to start, you know, the thought process now, pretty much. I'm using the 30-30. People ask me a lot, do I like the 30-30? Is 30-30 good for ranked? 100%. In this case, I use it because it was a gold weapon, and I use it with the PK.
Same thing that was fine then.
We just had to dip out.
You're vibing. You're vibing.
We had to rotate out because we're in a really bad position. And, you know, Rip Currents got down. We're able to get his banner, so that's solid. And I'm just missing shots like a bot lord. I'm just making sure Blastoise could get around safely, though. That's why I'm trying to get this team away from him and not focusing. But yeah, I highly recommend the 30-30, and it pairs well with the PK. Like, I will run Sniper PK. Sniper on this map's absolutely needed. I feel like someone on your team at least has to have a sniper. I personally love the sniper, so sometimes I even run Sniper PK if I feel like I'm going to fight in bubbles a lot. Because if you're fighting close enough to throw the bubble, you know, you just need a PK. But I just like running the sniper as well, so.
They're crafting? What is wrong with these kids?
This is me missing like a bot some more. I'm just taking advantage of the fact I have an off angle from what Blastoise has. He had the high ground, and I was able to get their back right, so they really couldn't hide from us whatsoever.
Be careful, Mike. I'm nowhere near.
This is me trying to thirst like a doofus.
Fucking getting slapped by prowlers, bro! Fuck!
So the reason he went down right there is because he overextended way too far to where I couldn't see him anymore. If he would have stayed on my side of the mountain and just let me thirst that dude, I think we'd have been fine in this situation.
You got the kills.
But the reason why I'm rotating out and not helping him right away is so I can turn back and see if they're trying to push out or not. Because if you have a long range weapon with a scope, the amount that you get stunned while you're in storm trying to scope through, it just moves way too much. So it's hard to aim inside storm with a big scope, so I don't recommend it. That's why I went out first. Now I'm coming back in.
What the fuck?
I don't know why my PK did that animation. It almost killed him.
Farm pussies.
And right here, as soon as I got shot at once, I threw the bubble. And when you're in storm like this and you have a heat shield, it's hard for people to tell if your bubble's even down. So this was a huge bubble. So, you know, if I didn't bubble right there, we could have potentially got shot at, and you were both really low. And this is why it's really good to have Valk in these lobbies. Again, this is Plat 2, and we made a huge rotation out of circle and completely away from those guys just because we have Valkyrie. And this is why Valkyrie is probably the most beneficial and just most helpful rotational character. You know, of course, Octane's really good, Wraith's really good, but Valk has been absolutely amazing.
Like, fuck this kid, let me do my fucking flip. Look cool.
But
oh, Lord,
this is why I highly recommend you, as a Gibby, to have a Valk. Just get out of those situations. And plus, you know, Valks like to use bubbles now. Since the bubble's a little taller, Valks can use their alt right inside the bubble, and you guys can get out for free without getting knocked. Or you still can get knocked, but it's not as much. So right here, I called out there's people here, so I had cover. That's one of those things to know your surroundings. I immediately went to the rock in the tree. We knock a dude, so I immediately throw my ult so they can't climb up on him. or around him. And this guy actually got
78
punished
low.
by my ult because of it. I hit him for 78 in the head and hit him with my ult.
40.
So this ult
No,
was
no,
just
he
to get this
the other
team
side of that.
away
I don't
from
know where the
us
fuck he went.
and to like kind of secure us getting that knock and them not be able to be anywhere near their teammate that's knocked. And to force them inside, and
both
we
down.
just honestly
We
cleaned
have
up
to hurt
very
this person
successfully.
and
Rip
leave.
Currents just came
loot.
down, had no loot,
Yeah,
and was
no
able to
loot.
hold him off
Shit.
until we got in there.
Circle is
Um,
moving now though. I just knocked someone else. I don't know who.
That's got a
who,
nice knock right there. Easy.
Easy kill.
I still don't know where that's from. I think that's from the kids that we were fighting on that hill when I was fighting off the prowlers. So pretty much what that ult was again, it was a way to get that team because you know I like to play off the knock. So if I knock somebody, I will immediately ult sometimes. It's just like it's equivalent to throwing your bubble right on top of them, playing off the knock. You can throw your ult right on top of the knock, especially if your teammate's around it. Because your teammate won't get hurt by it. They'll get stunned, yes. But it keeps them completely safe from people being point blank on them. And it kind of gives them cover, kind of like a bang smoke. That's what happened. They couldn't really push up on him, and they really couldn't get their teammate up at all. So it was a good ult. It was a good zoning ult, and I was actually able to hit someone that tried to get up there, which again it punishes people for trying to push. And I kind of just predicted that team on pushing. And here's one of those things about playing late game. Like there's other teams we know exactly where they are fighting wise. It's just we know we need to secure this back area because it's going to be the spot to be at and to get the win. And there's so many rocks and cover. And even these bends are cover as well.
Yo, take that G7 out of there, put it on the rock back here.
Okay, I can.
I'm dropping bats for you, see.
Where you at? Okay, thank you.
Oh, so they know we're here. That's cute.
And see, these teams are fighting, and it's just like we could push up a lot more, but it's best for us just to stay back and annoy everybody. Because I don't care if I get the KP for these teams. All I want them is to eliminate each other so we can get, you know, higher up in placement. You know, if these kids fight each other, one team wins, now we're in top 3 situation. And we're just all we're doing right now is just being annoying, making sure people know that we have this spot so they don't ego push us. Or just trying to push over and we just have to fight, and next you know we're getting thirded by another team.
Okay, that's all I needed to do. I need
141.
Okay, we have one team that's not accounted for, and they're to our left.
And that's a good thing. Like right there, what I did was I knew we didn't know where one team was. I went to look for them. We found them to our left immediately, and now we know which directions to look. It's left on the rock and right on the buildings. So when you are playing ranked, it's good to know how many teams are up and exactly where they're at. If there's 5 teams up, you know you're one of them, and if you hear gunfighting, like gunshots, you know there's at least 2 teams over there. So now you have to process elimination. Where's the other 2 at? You know. So it's good to try to figure out where teams are, so you know where to look rotation wise. Again, I'm holding this whole left side so I have an off angle on the team to the right so they can't push up fully, and so I can keep an eye out on the team to the left as well. And some of these rocks on this map, they're kind of buggy. Sometimes you can't like actually like stick on top of them. It'll just make you slide off, and that's kind of what happened in this situation. I'm just missing, but I'm just making sure they know. And now I have to watch this whole right side with my teammates.
I don't think they got a Gibby.
And again, it's just like, I know they need help, but I have to make sure that we're not going to get thirded as well.
Come over by me if you have to.
Yeah. I just gotta hold back.
And I'm making sure my teammates know that they can push back if they absolutely need to. Because, you know, I can't really try to help them on the right side when I'm holding off a team to the left. So this is Gibby. As you can see, they're playing 2-man to the right, and I was playing by myself. As the Gibby, you know, you want to play that role of being by yourself. Even though you're not a Wraith and you can't queue out if you're in trouble, you have an ult, you have a bubble, and you have more health with the arm shield. So you're able to kind of hold positions by yourself as Gibby. You just got to be smart with it. You can't take way too much damage, or it's just not going to work out for you. So, you know, as soon as your arm shield goes away, just know you can no longer peek. Just wait till it comes back, then re-peek again. And just hold those angles. You know, you don't have to play with your team. Just make sure you're holding the opposite angle. And as Gibby, you can do that solo. And that's why I was holding that left side the entire time by myself.
Yeah, they got pushed by the other team. They got pushed by the other team.
And of course, as soon as he said they were getting pushed by the other team, I threw all, immediately took the far right because that team had an off angle on them. And I knew they had to wrap around to that right side. So that's the only cover they had.
He's low. Ash is low. Ash is
And I just took advantage of it. And this is the plus side about holding so much area, guys, is when people have to rotate, you're holding them back too much where they're forced to fight the other team. That's why it's good to hold so much area and be safe still.
There's two
T
on
right,
B.
T right,
Grab the
bubble.
shield swap. They all shield swap. They all shield swap.
One's cracked. One's cracked.
And right there, it was just solid, honestly. I told Rip that he had a bubble if he needed to, because I didn't know how close they were. So I provided that bubble strictly for my teammate's safety. He can back up and take a bat. If they go to push him, he knows now he can just easily just take a step back to the right a little bit, and then he's safe from them trying to even push him. And I'm right there holding it. But he went down. I capitalized with the PK. The PK is one of the best shotguns right now in the game, especially for Gibby. Being able to ADS, get that charge up to get that full shot off is absolutely huge. I highly recommend the PK because your first shot, people really can't hurt you that bad, you know, because if they have a shotgun as well, your first shot's charged up right where you're aiming at them, and you get a free shot pretty much. And then after that, the PK is one of the best weapons to hip fire, because of how big the spread is on it. So I was able to capitalize on the path, finish him off. Again, I ADS against the caustic, and I stayed ADS because he never really knocked him off my arm shield. I keep my arm shield up at all times until it's gone, and that's when I kind of start to hip fire and do more movement. And that's what you need to do as Gibby. You have to take advantage of the fact that you have more health with your arm shield ADSing. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That was solid gameplay at the very end of pretty much how to hold teams off. And we literally forced them to push the other team. So out of the three teams, you know, they fought each other because we were holding so much position where I was able to watch the team to the left and help my teammates on the guys to the right. And they just couldn't push us. They couldn't push my side at all. I made sure they couldn't. And we're able to clean up the third team and then clean up the last team. And again, it's just all about positioning, all about making sure people know that you're present in the position that you have. And being Gibby, it's good to be that solo position to the offside just to watch another team. Because you don't want to fully focus one team. You have to focus all of them so people really can't rotate behind you and take advantage of you. The team to the right, you know, the reason they got pushed because they never focused the other team. They kept focusing us. So that's why we easily won that fight. It's perfect gameplay of how good the 30-30 can be, especially how much damage it does to the head. It did 96 at one point when that team was pushing. So it's solid. You know, I highly recommend, you know, single fire weapons with the shotgun because, you know, all you're doing most of the time is shooting really far range. And a lot of the fights that you take up close, they're going to be close enough to where you're going to bubble and, you know, shotgun fight. So this was a long video. I know these are normally long. Hopefully the beginning part was informational. Was trying to rank up. Hopefully I explained it correctly or explained it right so you can kind of get a gist of what you need to do to get to those higher rankings. I appreciate you guys watching these videos. I know these are my longer videos. And I do enjoy doing these though. I enjoy doing a thought process. I know they can kind of be, you know, the same thing over and over again here and there. But again, different circles, different zones, different weapons each time. Or not each time, but different times, you know, sometimes. But I appreciate everybody watching. Hopefully this was very informational. Let me know what you guys think. You know, let me know in the comments section. I really do appreciate you guys whenever you guys give me tips in the comments on the YouTube videos, how I should do them. What kind of videos I should do next. So yeah, just give me all the feedback possible. I'll answer any questions y'all have about this game in particular if you want. But yeah, much love, much appreciated, and see you guys in the next video. Peace.